Right there.
Right there.
Evening all.
Right there.
So thank you all for joining us. Loads of people in the comments already. So thank you for joining us on this very wet and windy and horrible evening in Gloucestershire. So it's nice to be back in the warm. We've been out all day. So but anyway, back to our live and seeing everyone here. So if you've got any questions for us this week, then please pop them in the comments. And Nick and Tracy here, and quite rightly said, just start it with right there, no question, and then we can spot it in between all the chat and stuff.
We can. I don't know why you're looking at me.
Well, I thought you were.
Not for the first time in my life, I agree with everything you say.
So let's have a look to see. Thank you, Nick and Tracy, for putting our merch. Paul's got us this coming to our store soon. We've been trialing some more merch, and this is a nice. It's lovely, isn't it? Some grey. It's a grey t-shirt, as you can see, and we've got new stuff coming soon. When Nicola's gets off her next cruise, she does all our merch. She's currently on the Ventura. Actually, she sent me a picture earlier, and there was a lamppost in Amsterdam with a Paul and Carole Love to Travel sticker, and I'm like, oh my god, how cool is that? But she's put them on there.
But it's in Amsterdam.
Yes.
So I hope we don't get any strange phone calls.
True.
And I also have to say as well that when you buy this shirt, it won't come with this manly chest inside it. Or the very manly belly.
Well, exactly. So let's have a look then. So Kevin B's here. Yo. Always nice to see Kevin all the way in Long Island in New York. Cheryl's here and so many people. Let's have a see if we've got first question here from Nick and Tracy. As you usually book far in advance, have you ever booked a last minute cruise deal? And if so, was it good value?
Let me tell you, Nick and Tracy, when Carole retired 3 years ago.
Not yet, 3 years in July.
3 years next month. Well, actually, because it was virtually the end of this month because you had a bit of
annual leave to take.
So it's we're not going to split ours over a few weeks. It's 3 years. She said, wouldn't it be great, mate? Wouldn't it be great? We could just sit at home and wait for the last minute deals to roll in. In those 3 years, we have booked that many last minute cruises, and we have booked about 35 cruises far in advance. So to answer your question, no and no. The only thing we booked last minute, and it freaked Carole out, and it was about 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago because it came up on the Facebooky thing today, is we went into a travel agent 10 years ago and we said we want to go to either Greece or Spain or somewhere like that. We want to go tomorrow. We've got £500 to spend. The first travel agent just
sort of laughed
in our face. The second one said, oh, well, how about this? And we went to Corfu. The next day, it was so close that they had to print our stuff out in the shop. We went to Corfu the next day, half board, £245 a person for 7 nights. Bang, get in.
And it was fabulous.
It
was a bit, rushing to get packed, but what do you need on a beach holiday?
It wasn't Russia.
It was
great.
No. So yes, so the plan is, Nick, that I've now leaving and Dan, because even Dan said to me, we would chat on the phone only for an hour and a half yesterday, wasn't it, Dan? And Dan said, you haven't got much booked. I said, no, we're going to do a lot more last minute. So watch that space.
I'm not hopeful.
So Barbara's here from rainy Highcliffe on Sea, and Kevin B saying, right then, translation question for the cream jam debate: is your clotted cream what we refer to as butter? Hard when cold, soft when in room temperature? No,
it's not hard like butter. No, it's a good clotted cream.
Well, Corinne looks like she's done a very good explanation of it.
Yeah, but is this Corinne's live or is it ours?
Corinne, yeah, that's funny. But no, look, it's been heat treated, which I didn't know. Did you know that? Look, Corinne's saying clotted cream is not butter; it's cream that's been heat treated. It has a sort of skin on it. It's very thick and delicious. It's special out the southwest, especially Cornwall and Devon, which is a perfect explanation of what clotted cream is. So thank you, Corinne.
Well, let me tell you now what clotted cream is. Clotted cream is not butter. It's cream that has been
Exactly.
So
that.
why did you make me try and explain that?
Well,
when you just sold me
but
down
it is
the river,
delicious.
then?
And Kevin, definitely when you're in the UK, there's lots of things that we want to try. In fact, is this the time to show the big jar?
No,
we've got a big jar of something.
We need 300 people before we show you my big jar. But I'm telling you now, Kevin B, you know I love you. You're my top 2 favorite Kevins in the world. If you put cream on first, you're going to get one of them.
So we will see. Let's just say, Rose has just said, I've just changed all my clothes for my British Isles cruise on Sunday from summer to winter. It's terrible, isn't it? The weather here is absolutely atrocious. Today, the temperatures dropped even more and the rain's come. Yeah. So it's just, it's very depressing.
We've been out today. We've had a lovely day. We've gone to see my dad, and he's doing very well because I know a few people have been asking about him recently, and he's all good in the hood. And I took him down, and I said to him, I don't know,
it was Father's Day.
Is this good son or bad son? I'd like put your comments in. I didn't buy my father a Father's Day card. And I said to him, Dad, I said, would you have preferred a nice Father's Day card with a load of lovey-dovey, soppy, you're the best daddy in the world? Or would you like a litre bottle of whiskey? He went for the whiskey.
Exactly. So, yes. So we had a lovely day. Then we went to see my sister and my great niece and nephew, and then we just been to see some lovely friends, Dickie and Sally. So we've had a great day.
We've had a fabulous
and
day.
Yesterday we even had a little bit of sunshine because we got out in the garden, didn't we? But today it's just wet.
I was working yesterday, almost like a real job, helping my nephew out getting some MOTs done. I was.
You drove a horse box yesterday.
I just got a horse box MOT.
He doesn't.
What have you been up to? I've just been driving around in a horse box.
Right, well, Amanda's just saying, good evening, everyone. So obviously, Mandy and Chris, I've just used a pot of clotted cream. I use it in my homemade curries. Loads more calories, but yummy. Oh, I bet that just put a lovely texture to that. So let's see, what's the next question you've got?
Did you have scones with it instead of naan breads?
You can have the hard scones, can't you, in the top? I like dumplings. Not in a curry, though. I was thinking stew then. Anyway, let's have a look at the next question.
None of us have been drinking today.
No, we haven't.
You wouldn't have thought it.
No. So Kevin B's asking a question. Have we come up with a name for the Paul and Carole group is?
Well, I think that's it. Paul and Carole group is.
The P&Cers? No, I don't know.
I think maybe we call them the Pineapple Club.
The Pineapple Club.
So this is when I know this is why I love because I know Carol's got this. I couldn't do what she's doing. So she's scrolling, she's looking for questions, she's reading stuff. I'm just here talking a load of old baloney as usual. But I know I can look into obviously we can see ourselves on the computer. And I can look and I know when her eyes go, basically there's a little sign that says out to lunch, which means that she's reading and I can virtually say anything like I just did.
I was just reading a very interesting question because we sell our merch and we've been selling so many. So thank you everyone that's buying stuff because it's really makes our day. But do you know when I order from the P&C shop, they deliver for certain dates into a hotel in the UK, saves postage, import duties and fees. No, Nicola and Steve that sort out all our merch, they're away at the moment. But it's something I can ask the question. I know that they were going to try and find their. As I say, they're in Amsterdam at the moment. They're going to try and find a bar to watch our live. They were messaging earlier. So it'll be something that we can obviously discuss that because I don't know that answer to that question, but that's a very valid...
I'm assuming that Laura's not in the country then.
No, exactly.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Dan the man's in the house. So it's lovely to see Dan. So if you're looking for a good travel agent...
I bet you haven't spoken to Dan for ages, have you?
No.
Cool. When I was off yesterday doing almost like some proper work, I bet every sort of, I'm going to say 28 seconds, blink, blink, my phone's going again on the old WhatsApp group. I'm thinking, every time it goes off, that's another £500 just cost me.
No, we were talking about all sorts actually. I was hearing about Dan's just been to Iceland on her to Gruten, and it looked absolutely fabulous. Despite they had one rough day, but it looked absolutely totally interesting. So make sure you follow Dan if you're on Instagram. He puts out some fantastic reels of his experience. So make sure you follow him on there, and you'll see all about her to Gruten. They look definitely a cruise line that we'd like to try in the future. I'd like to try. It does worry me they're small ships and they were bobbing around a bit, but I think from an expedition point of view, from learning all about the wildlife and everything that Dan was telling me, it looks a fantastic choice. And I think they are a fantastic, people think of Hurtigruten, like Dan and I were saying about that they just do the Iceland coastal, the Norway coastal cruises, but they do far more than that. And they've got some fantastic new ships. So definitely something to consider in the future.
I will consider it.
Yes.
As a last minute option.
Oh, poor
as a last minute.
Reese is here, so it's the best time of the week. So give them a thumbs up and share a love, even in everyone.
Well, I do that,
Thank
but
you,
nothing
Reese.
happens now. I do that. Nothing happens. I don't know. Is it the camera? No.
So Rebecca,
Devil's horns. I do it all.
Becca's
nothing
here.
happens.
So right then, looking to do the 2026 group cruise, which is our Patreon members one. Talk with Dan and we're working out the kinks. But could you tell me more about the different classes of grills? Also, Paul's Thacker's Gold, is that a Pilsner?
No. No. Thatcher's Gold is cider, which is made from apples. Other ciders are available. They're not made from apples, but they shouldn't be called cider, really. So if it's made of pears, it should be called a perry. And all the fruit ciders shouldn't really be called cider at all, because cider is made from apples. But yeah, so it's a refreshing apple-based drink, but it has the ability to make you fall over when you've had a few.
It does. But what Becca's referring to is we've got a Patreon group cruise booked for 2026. No secret, we've chose Cunard, and despite our experience on Queen Anne, because
it's Queen Anne.
No, it's not.
It's Cunard Queen Anne, and every night we're eating in Sir Samuel's.
No, it's a Cunard cruise, and we picked Queen Victoria, haven't we? Because we've sailed on all their old queens, and we love them. So that's why we've chose it for. Well, it was voted in our Patreon and members group that Cunard would be the right choice for our first small members group cruise. And just to answer your question, Becky, about grills and classes, is for those that don't know Cunard, we always book Britannia class, which is the basic economy, and then above that you get Princess Grills and Queen's Grills.
No, we don't.
You do.
No.
You get Britannia Plus.
You get Britannia, then you get Britannia Club.
Yes.
Which gives you a separate dining area.
Yes,
then
true.
Princess Grill, then Queen's Grill.
Yes.
Now, if you want to know about Princess Grill or Queen's Grill, don't ask us because we've never done it. We have done Britannia, and we have done Britannia Club.
For a meal.
But only for one night.
Yeah. But Gary Bembridge has got a lot of information about Queen's Grill and Princess Grill, so make sure you check him out. But it basically means that it is a sort of 4-tier system. Queen's Grill is obviously the most expensive, where you get your own separate dining area, and Princess Grills is not so expensive Queens, but again, you get your own separate dining area and separate areas on the ship. So it is a bit of a class system there, but like a lot of ships are doing haven and different things, aren't they?
But what you won't get with grills, like on Haven and places like that, a lot of the places you'll have like your own swimming pool. What I will say, I won't go on an MSC rant, but they're rubbish.
No.
But they do yacht club, and their yacht club is a separate area where you get a butler, you get this, you get that, but you get your own dining area, but you also get your own swimming pool. Now, what I will say is I'm not an MSC fan, but I think the yacht club that they've got is probably one of the best out there, because you've got your own swimming pool, everything. Whereas Queen's Grill, Princess Grill, we've been to the grills area with one of our subscribers who took us there and bought us a drink, and we had a lovely time. You've got like a little sort of courtyard area, and you've got areas where you can lie out on sunbeds, but there's no swimming pools, there's no plunge pools, there's no hot tubs, there's no nothing. So you have still got to mingle with old scuffers like us if you want to go and have a swim.
Yeah, that's true. So just trying to go through here of so Dave's here. So Dave Holland, so lovely
Dave,
to see you.
Hope you're feeling better, because I know you were a little under the weather earlier in the week.
Louise is asking, have you ever cruised with Viking, as I'm looking to book a cruise them? We haven't, but I tell you someone to follow who has is Innocents Abroad, Bob and Holly. They've done a lot of Viking, and they're due to go on them in the summer too, aren't they? They're currently on a 3-month cruise-a-thon, and they're heading towards Viking, I think, after their Seabourn cruise now.
They love Viking.
But they look fabulous, Viking. I've not heard a bad thing about Viking.
No.
All the ships are the same.
Just
and
the
it's
funny hats they wear, isn't it?
Well, it is bad, but something we'd like to try in the future for sure. Don saying about his Iceland cruise that was Great. Jane Bullock's here, so thank you for coming. Andy and Carla's here. So hi everyone from Wet Malt Mowbray. Instead of going out for an evening meal for Anna's birthday, we had a delicious afternoon tea, which included our first pork pie.
Yes.
Oh, I love pork pie.
I love Mount Mowbray pork pie. Jam then cream. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
cream and jam. So Kath is here and Anne and Mike. And Kath has only got 3 weeks to go to Turkey. My friends are there. It's 40 degrees. It's mad because the weather around Europe's mad because we were just watching on the telly earlier that Palma port's flooded.
Airport.
Well, not flooded, but it's got airport. It's got feet of water, hasn't it?
Feet of water. And I forgot, in all the excitement about the pork pie, happy birthday, Andy.
Yes. No, he got our cards. So he said thank you for the cards. That's cool. Joe's here. So lovely to see Joe. And Cruising with Molly's off to 3 weeks for me to Canaries on Britannia again. So that's exciting.
Still haven't done
We've
Britannia.
been looking at Canaries cruises actually, haven't we, for November? Because my sister's got some time off in November and we're looking at what we can do. And like I say, November, that's a great choice.
If you go back to Rebecca.
Which one? That one there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show this a minute from down the cruise. I've done Viking. It was thoroughly enjoyable. Highly recommend. And Rebecca's saying, I think cider in UK is different.
No, in the US, I know one of the brands that they do on the celebrity ships is called Angry Orchard, which is definitely an alcoholic cider, and it's American. So there is American ciders out there that are alcoholic, definitely.
Bridget's here. Bridget always makes me laugh out loud with her comments on YouTube. A Chihuahua.
Ay Chihuahua.
Ay Chihuahua.
Yeah, it's like ay caramba, but it's ay Chihuahua.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's in a Welsh accent.
No, I was. I don't think you're in any position to talk about accents, right?
Do you know this is one word or not? But I'd trade our Las Vegas heat to buy some cooler weather. Yes, we were always unhappy with what we got, haven't we? So get that. Reese is anyway. I'm going to hear Carole sing. Yes, I still haven't put that short. I'm just a bit embarrassed about it, really. But I guess it's got to come out, hasn't it?
Well, we found another short today. It's even more embarrassing, featuring Carole's sister. But if we ever wanted a video to go viral, I'm convinced that this one with Carole's sister in would be the one. But I'll have to just sneak it out with that.
So Becky's asking, right then, second question, just on tour UK before or after group cruise, land or cruise babe for about a week. It really depends on what you want to do, Becky. Whether if you want to cruise, then you could see if there's a sort of a around the UK cruise that's going before or after. Dan would be able to answer those questions. I think if you're going to do land things, because it's good from Southampton, the obvious place to explore is London if you haven't been there, because it's not too far away. Or you could do more of the south coast, Bournemouth, etc., Portsmouth, which is all very close to Southampton, which are all lovely places to visit, aren't they? So it depends what your interests are and what you actually want to do. So Ali B's made it by 7 p.m. Yes. So Kath says she's waiting for summer. We all are, aren't we? It's terrible. Kevin B's asking Dan, has he defrosted? Because he was getting in the snow. Yeah, Rock Dock. So Keith's saying it's really wet and windy in Derby as well. Wet and horrible with Claire too. And the cruise boys are in the house. So that's cool. So let's see what get your questions in this. Let's Kathy's saying, love Paul's t-shirt. Is there a ladies? There isn't ladies yet. So I will actually, that's a good point. We've still got obviously the navy blue lady ones, but not
let's see what Tony Remain. Let us see what Tony Remain has to say.
Tony Remain, lettuce. Oh my gosh, that's just so
good night.
Ken goes cruising, so Ken and Lindsay here. So lovely to see you guys.
What was it they called? Poor Ludlow. That was just a funniest. So what was it?
Ken goes cruising. Yeah. Ken's naughty.
What did he call him? I want to get it out there.
No, it's naughty.
It was.
What did you say on your live, Ken, about Paul Ludlow? For those of you who don't know, Paul Ludlow is the guy that now runs obviously P&O and Cunard, but it was very funny. But do check Ken and Lindsay's lives out because they're very, very enjoyable. But yeah, there's a lot of debates going on with Cunard and P&O at the moment, aren't they, with standards and stuff. And I think lots of people are saying it's Paul Ludlow's fault, but I'm sure he's instrumental to it. However, it's a bigger team than that, than just one person, isn't it?
It's the Ludlow effect.
The Ludlow effect. That's rubbish. So cruise boys there. So hi guys, what do you find most rewarding about running a cruise and travel YouTube?
Nothing at all.
For me, it's just this community. We would never have met all you lovely guys in this.
That's true.
In the comments, if we hadn't started our YouTube. It's opened up so many doors and so many avenues for us to have this whole community that loves cruise and travel, because we've got lots of lovely friends and family, but because they haven't got the same.
We've had to leave them behind now, though, because we've got new friends.
No,
so we've
not
had to leave all the old ones behind.
But nobody gets, when you love cruise and travel so much like we do, nobody gets how passionate you can be about it. And we sort of talk about with our friends, they're like, yeah, okay, shut up about cruising because it's boring now. So to actually be with like-minded people, I think, is the most rewarding thing.
For me, the most rewarding is when I'm sat on the sofa for about 8 seconds and Carole says, get your laptop out and then do some work on the blog. That's the most rewarding thing for me.
It is. He enjoys that. So Jackie's made it, which is unusual. So yahoo, mates alive, never enjoyable hour. So thank you for joining us. See the World's asking, is there any cruise line you really want to try but haven't been able to? I got one jumped straight into my head.
Yeah, but is it haven't been able to because of price?
Doesn't matter.
Or well, because of price, I'd like to do Ambassador. No, I'm only joking.
I'd like to do
Ambassador, but I'd like to do something like Silver Seas or something like that, or Paul Gauguin.
Yes,
around the South Pacific.
I want to get on Norwegian cruise lines, because we nearly got on them pre-pandemic, and we got our Norwegian Bliss. I'm looking, I'm really looking at getting onto Norwegian. I'd really like to try Carnival again, and I really want to get on one of the Princess older ships, because we've done a lot of the Royal class, haven't we? Princess ships, and they're lovely. But I really want to. I think being back on Aurora on P&O has really given us a thirst for smaller, older ships.
Oh, look at the next question.
Look at the next question.
Oh my God!
What is it?
Look.
So Michelle Allen is saying, hi, Carole and Paul. New follower here. We have booked our first cruise trip on Aurora to the fjords. Any top tips for first timers? Also, Paul has cost me money. Have you seen the Insta 360 and had one?
Sorry.
Excellent. Aurora is
a lovely, lovely little ship. One of my favourite ships. Only on there for 3 days, and one of my favourite ships. I love I said this when we were on there. It's like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. There's far more spaces on the inside than you think. Well, how can there be a lounge there and a bar there and something here and something there because of how big it is? But it's fabulous. The aft, you're going to, do you say Norway? Fjords, yeah. Hopefully you'll have some nice weather, because the Aurora has probably one of the best afts of all the ships we've ever been on. It's such a fabulous area, and hopefully you'll get to spend some time on there, which means you'll have some decent weather. But
it just didn't have an aft that was tiered. It's got an aft that's tiered, but not circular, because it would be a proper aft.
As soon as you get on there, you'll know it's hard to explain. But
Paul said it looks like planes. It looks like the points of planes, and there's so many. It was pretty special. And at the top there's a pennant bar, and that was awesome. We spent the last evening up there, didn't we, with the cruise monkeys and Lizzie Lou, and it was lovely. So yeah, Aurora's a great ship. Just make sure you there's just so many great areas. Fabulous promenade, proper teak, old school promenade, isn't it? So I'm sure you'll have a fabulous time. So Joe said to Kevin, I need to ask for hard cider. I guess so.
I don't know.
Morris is here. So let's see Morris. And Morris is asking, which cruise line has the best room service? Now, I put a post out on Facebook because you updated the P&O on Facebook.
On Facebook. You turned into a bit of a goat there. On Facebook.
About, obviously, you'd updated the room service. And for me, there's two. I was nearly three then that come to mind. Cunard has a fantastic room service menu, and most things are complimentary, unlike P&O. And also Azamara had a really good room service, didn't it?
Got to be honest, we're not big aficionados of room service. We'll have breakfast in bed on cruise ships, which I know is room service, but I sort of deem room service more of like, getting a burger delivered. We know people, and especially, I think that was that Queen Anne? Didn't somebody? Oh no, it was Queen Anne the breakfast, which in the first 2 or 3 days because of the debacles, there was people ordering breakfast to be delivered at 9 o'clock, and they were waiting in their cabins until 11 o'clock, which meant they'd miss breakfast everywhere by then, and then leaving their cabins, and then their breakfast would arrive. It was obviously stone cold because it had been prepared for 9 o'clock. So,
such a shame.
but generally, Cunard of what we have done, we've had some lovely stuff delivered, haven't we?
We have.
But it's usually because, we've missed the midnight buffet. Should we get a burger delivered?
No, we're not.
And then an hour later, you're thinking,
often it's breakfast. I think room service is really good, and that was a conversation we had with a lot of people on the post that I put out on Facebook. Is that if you're particularly doing an excursion or you want to get the ship early, and you have a breakfast delivered, a nice pot of tea, that's quite a great start to the day. And you could just still leisurely get ready in your cabin while you have your breakfast. And particularly if you've got a balcony, it's nice. When you've got an inside cabin and you have breakfast delivered, it's nice. But if you've got a balcony or even an ocean view with so you can have a view while you're having your breakfast, I think that's.
Now, this is a woman talking about it ain't so good in an inside cabin, who I can't even remember the last time we stayed in an inside cabin. Would you like to tell me? When was the last time we stayed in an inside cabin?
It wasn't been for a long time. We stayed in one on Cunard, didn't we? Because we had that big one. It was a deluxe inside.
No, that was Deb and Steve stayed in.
No, we stayed in one.
You're just making stuff up now. Oh no,
we did.
When we did the 2-dayer on the Queen Mary.
Yes. No, it wasn't Queen Mary.
But we did a 2-dayer with Shaky and Ellen.
Yes, that was another one too.
Yeah,
that was another one.
That was about 12 years ago.
But I'm just saying, for room service, I think we've answered Maura's questions. Yeah. We think and Azamara was very, very good too. Colette's just packing for our cruise tomorrow. We'll explore for 2-week cruise the Adriatic and Aegean. So excited. Oh, fabulous part of the world. Have a fabulous time.
We love the Adriatic.
Alfie's here. So love to see Alfie and Andy and Christine. So let's see. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Let's see with the next question. So Mike and Carrie are in. Good morning from Puyallup. Mike is at work but hoping to tune in on his phone. So thanks for joining, guys. We're going to be seeing you on September the 17th when we go on Gary's group cruise. So we're looking forward to catching up in Boston. So that'd be awesome. And Nick saying, is it Corin's live stream? Brilliant. Kathy's saying, what is your next cruise ship you go on? Come on Scotland for tomorrow night. Oh, the Euros are starting.
Do you know, I'll tell you what, this is like, Carol's over the moon about the Euros.
No, I'm not.
Any staunch England fans, tomorrow, what a decision there is to make.
For people that don't know what the Euros are, Paulie.
There's international major football tournaments. If you're in Europe, there's 2 major football tournaments. There's the Euros, which you have to be a country in Europe to compete in, and you do all your, qualification process, and it gets down to 32 teams or whatever it is. And then there's a World Cup, which is obviously everybody in the world is allowed to enter. It's the finals of the Euro, so it's going to be on for a month. Carol's going to be over the moon when there's 3 games a day on. Get your computer out. But anyway, so tomorrow, any England fan is going to know how difficult it's going to be tomorrow, because Scotland hate us when it comes to football. I'm not saying the feeling is mutual. We hate Germany when it comes to football. Scotland are playing Germany. What a toughie that's going to be. It won't be a toughie because I want Scotland to absolutely beat Germany 8-0.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to put that on record for all you Scottish people out there.
Now, I want to refer something to my notes at the moment because we are planning a trip in the future, and I would appreciate
So it's not in the past,
no, it's not in the past. No. And we're looking for...
You can talk to the nice people.
Where are you going?
I'm going to bed.
So Dan and I were talking yesterday, and in the future we're heading back to Singapore and we're heading to Hong Kong. So very exciting plans for the future, and we're sort of going around in circles a bit with hotels. So if you have any recommendations for hotels in Singapore or Hong Kong, please let us know either in the comments, or ideally, if you're watching this afterwards, thank you for catching up, put them in the description below in the comments so you can refer back to them. That's even more helpful. So so thank you very much for that. And I've just seen Kathy Wilcox saying, I want the big jar.
And Kathy, when you ask, you
look
shall
what we bought
receive.
today.
Now, bearing in mind, we've got a farm shop outside, just outside Gloucester. And as anybody knows, when they say farm shop, what that means is you have to pay £8 for something that should be £1.
Yes.
Because it's called a farm shop. So we went in to buy a Scotch egg. I don't know if you know what Scotch egg is. I'll explain to you quickly. It's a boiled egg. Obviously, I had somebody say, "Oh, would you take the shell off?" Yeah, a boiled egg that you take the shell off, and then it's covered in sausage meat and some breadcrumbs, and then you bake it or deep fry it. We went in to get one of those. £43 later, we came out with tomatoes and cucumbers and pork pie and the Scotch egg, and then we also came out with this.
Woohoo!
Now, I don't know. I'm sure they must have.
You can see, yeah.
That is
it's extra large pickled eggs.
Pickled eggs.
Which are perfect for open a bag of crisps and put your pickled egg in and you have crisp and egg, don't you, Paulie?
We introduced Bob and Holly of Innocents Abroad.
We did.
To their first ever pickled egg, which if you go onto our shorts videos.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's not.
It is a short, yeah.
We put it as a short. It's also on TikTok of them trying their first ever pickled egg. It's one of our. We on TikTok. Is that about 35,000 views?
Yes, mad.
People like, but yeah. So, how much do you think we paid for those?
You should have them on the label.
Well, you know, but we only went in for one pickled for one Scotch
But we're looking
egg.
forward to them. I made my own one year, didn't I? They were really good. Yeah. So let's have a look. So there you are, Kathy. There's the big jar.
Can you imagine what the air quality is going to be like in our bedroom after we've had a few of them.
So we're off to Canada on Sunday, the Rocky Mountains, and then on to Collins Dam to Alaska. All your fault. Thanks to Dan for organising. Have an amazing time, Janet. I'm sure
it's all our fault, but you will be thanking us within about half an hour being on that Rocky Mountain there.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Mandy's here. So see, Mandy, are there any cruise line ships that you definitely would not cruise on in the future? MSC, it's not our thing at all.
MSC, and even though we haven't done it yet, I mean, if we could pick up one that was about £8 a day, which is quite lightly, some of the deals I've seen is Costa.
Yeah, they're not on our to-do list, are they?
I mean, I know Cruise Boy's been on Costa. They're people, you know, it's horses for courses, as they say. But I've heard people say that Costa is a poor man's MSC, and I'm thinking, oh my God, how poor is that man if he's?
If we did do MSC, I want to do Yacht Club, and it's when you look at what you pay for Yacht Club, I'd rather pay to go on a different cruise line, isn't it? So that's what we think. So lots of people saying about your dad and good move on your day. Frank and Jenna here, so good move on your day's Father Day gift. Well, for those for Father's Day gift, just so you know, if you've ever heard of Cameo, we're on Cameo, so we do sort of video messages for people that want them. So it sounds a bit bizarre saying that out loud, but it's something that's going really well, isn't it? So if you do want a personalised message from us, just let us know.
I just looked and we were on 277 viewers, and now we're on 318. Is this the power?
Yes, the power of the eggs.
Of the jar.
Ooh.
Is it going up?
Ooh, no. Right.
So that's 319.
Yeah. So everyone's saying good choice about the whiskey. Yeah, Blind Man Cruise saying that's what Dan did. The afternoon tea on Queen Anne, put jam on both halves and put clocker in the middle, so you got a sandwich. It doesn't matter then.
Emma Cruises did that in a video, genuinely did it, not even for the sake of trying to be funny. She made a sandwich with her scones. And she nearly broke the internet because people were so outraged. And you think, well, it doesn't matter, does it? People went nuts. It was like if you can imagine the worst thing that you could ever do on planet Earth, times that by 2, that's what happened when Emma made a scone sandwich.
Let's have a look. So Claire's saying we should be called the Right Venners. Oh, Sherry's asking about dumplings, scones, curry. We'll show them all when you come to the UK, Sherry. That'll be no problem at all. Group is the PNCers. Let's have a look. I'm late but here. So Catherine's arrived. So thank you for Kathy saying I'm with Paul. No to her to gluten. Oh, really?
She couldn't spell my name, but other than that, she's called me Pesor. Pesor. I'm with Pesor.
So Joe's asking, did you do the Elegance 35 to 80 or Explorer 25 to 60 age range itinerary on a sale of Croatia?
No, Joe, because we're only 23.
We did the Elegance. Yeah, so there's different.
Yes, I know. I was joking. Yeah,
for those who don't know, Sail Croatia was fantastic. There's about 35 people on this little ship.
We only just got in on the age, didn't we?
And they do boats for all ages. They have party boats, they have family boats, they have Elegance, which is more for the more mature.
The old farts.
The old farts. Yeah. So we did that. You're too young for that, Joe. You're just a whippersnapper. So Cheryl said she just booked Fred Olsen to go to Iceland on 12th September. They have Orca on board, so that'll be awesome. Yeah, I do like. I
don't know if I'd be happy walking around with a killer whale on there.
So Stuart's asking, what would be your views on an aft balcony cabin on Sky Princess for the Fjords? Stuart, go to our YouTube channel. We stayed in an aft balcony on Sky Princess and absolutely loved it. There's a full review on there. We didn't. That was on the Round the Britain cruise, wasn't it? I think, Paulie. Well, it wasn't around the Britain. It was a Seacation. Or did we have that one for the Fjords? No, we had the mini suite for the Fjords.
It was the first time.
So yes and yes.
There's sad memories of when we had that aft balcony cabin.
Why?
Because that's the first time we met Dan.
Yes.
And £280,000 later.
280,000.
Yeah. Well, that's this year anyway.
Batman's asking, when are you off to World Europe or MSC? We're not. We haven't got that booked at all. So let's see. So Dan's saying as well, an act balcony on Sky P is beautiful for the Fjords. I did an aft cabin for 2 weeks and it was incredible. Yes, it is. But do check out, we've got a whole playlist with all, if you're looking for cabins, if you go to our playlist on our YouTube channel, you'll find all the different cruise lines and you'll find like playlists that have just got cabins in as well, and destinations if you're looking for New York or Australia or whatever it might be. So, so Holly's here, so stayed in Yacht Club twice and tour spot on, Paul. So yeah, if I would definitely stay in that if we were going to do it. And Kathy's saying, yeah, Yacht Club on MSC is truly different ship within a ship.
I think what I find with MSC is I know that we went to Yacht Club on Virtuosa and the food and the service and the Yacht Club area is absolutely stunning. But when you go out for your entertainment, you've still obviously got to go to the main ship for your entertainment. And I found the entertainment truly awful. Like I'd never seen anything so weird and amateurish in all my life. So even though if you're just into going into an area where you can just lie around, be wasted on hand, foot and finger, you've got your own swimming pool, you've got a fantastic area, a lovely restaurant and a fantastic area by the pool for all your food needs, then I would be doing MSC every single time. But if you want to come out of that Yacht Club area and have some decent entertainment and mill around the ship, they are just so oversubscribed, busy everywhere.
But the entertainment, sorry for interrupting, but the entertainment that we've seen, we're led to believe that it's changed a bit.
Yeah.
And the shows are a little bit more sort of mainstream than they were when we were on there. So it would be interesting to go back on MSC to see, but there's so many other cruise lines that we want to go on first. So you have to decide where you want to spend your money, isn't it? And that's the thing with cruising, because it's not cheap. It's really not cheap.
No.
Even the cheapest cruise, people say, oh, I got on this cruise for $50 a day. Yeah, but actually, what's the real cost? Because, it's not just that, it's getting to the cruise ship. It's all those extras on top. So you need to really be thoughtful of where you want to spend your money. So lots of people saying that they like MSC, they don't like MSC. It is a bit of a Marmite cruise line, isn't it, I think? Yes, crew boys are going on Viking with Bob and Holly. Sorry, guys. I sounded like Gary Barlow then. Sorry.
No, you
sorry, Gary.
No, you sounded like Mark
Owen.
Mark
Owen. Oh,
sorry,
yes.
Gary.
We love Take That. But anyway, we digress. So let's see. Linda said she went to Antarctica with her group of Fabulous. And I know that's what Dan would love to do. So let's see. Kathy's asking the itinerary of the group cruise. Our Sky Princess group cruise is going to Scandinavia. So we've got Norway and Denmark. So that's the 2025. And then the one that's our Patreon group cruise on Queen Victoria Cunard is Spain and Portugal.
I know she looked at me then.
So let's see. Let's see our next question. Everyone debating the jam and cream. It gets
nothing to debate.
Oh, Mary saying hello from board of the Regal Princess. So have a great cruise and life in the park. So yes. So we're currently sat in the MDR on Ventura for celebration night. So that's our merch lady, Nicola and Steve. So they've said they've had excellent service on Ventura. So that's good to hear. Liz says it's 30 degrees in Cyprus, so we're very, very
Oh, shut up, Liz.
yeah. Oh, let's have a look. People chatting away. Mary essentially said, thanks for the introduction. That's good. Enjoyed it on the Queen Mary 2 last month. So that's Alfie's saying they've got 3 more weeks to mop up that airport. Yeah, Palma's just underwater, isn't it? It's still functioning, I believe, but it's just yeah.
But only seaplanes are flying.
No. Oh, so Jim and Dwayne have arrived. We experienced issues.
Oh, talking about seaplanes, I'm going to just go on a random tangent now, and this is I'm talking to Carole now because I forgot to tell her. You know when we were in when we did our Alaska cruise?
Yes.
Where did we sail out of?
Vancouver.
And you know there was all them seaplanes constantly coming in. There was a little seaplane port, wasn't
yes.
And there was constantly
but
seaplanes.
That was Skagway.
No, it wasn't. It was before we took off. Before we set sail, there were seaplanes coming into.
Oh, we were in Stanley Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the seaplane come in and was going to go into whatever, and a boat crashed into it.
Oh gosh. Oh.
I mean, luckily everybody was all right, but it was like, oh my god, because we watched a few of them come in, didn't we? When we were.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Well, we've seen it all around Alaska as well, the seaplanes, isn't it? Yeah, so that was fab. So life in the park. So let's say we've experienced the issues with distant crew on P&O ships. However, they've been fantastic on Ventura. Excellent. So that's good to know. Raining cats and dogs in Halifax. We're going to Halifax on our September cruise, aren't we?
No, is this Halifax as in
Canada,
or is it Halifax as in North?
Off to Lansing. Well, I've never heard of a Lansing in the UK, so I presume it's So Nick's asking about merch. You do leave things too late because Nicola's on holiday at the minute, but she'll be back to sort it. But we do say you'll always get something within 3 weeks, and Nicola has turned it around in a couple of days when she's been able to. So, but I think by next Friday, send us a message and I can forward to Nicola to see if it's doable. But
well, she's scoffing her.
She's scoffing her gut in the Ventura, yeah. So let's have a look. Ken Goes Cruise and said, try the glasses on Ventura, it's fab. So that's good. So Footy Edit's asking, Isa for Yord or Alcaria for a whale watching excursion. Going on Caribbean Princess, 16 nights to Iceland and Greenland next month. If you've never done a whale watching excursion, I would do one because we did one in Juneau.
But that's not what he's asking. He's asking which one of those places is the best.
Oh. I don't know.
And I'm assuming those are 2 places and we don't know if we haven't been to Iceland. Dan might be able to answer.
Yeah, sorry. I thought it meant that or that.
Yeah.
Apologies, yeah. Sorry. But I would definitely go on either of them. No.
That was a big help, wasn't it? Go on both of them and then tell us which is the best.
So Jim and Dwayne, Carole, how did you get Paul to start socials? Trying to convince Dwayne to do his share rather than hide in.
She put a lock on the fridge. And she wouldn't give me the key unless I started doing some stories on Instagram.
Paul does engage with stuff sometimes, and he does stories when I remind him. And I think Paul's stories are far better than mine because he's very funny and witty. So I like him when he does engage in it.
That has got to be the funniest thing when I remind him. Can you imagine what that reminder's like?
No. So, but Paul is very good now with we try and keep on top with comments because we feel if people take the time out to put a comment on one of our posts, we try to reply to every comment because I think that's the right thing to do. And it's getting harder and harder to keep up with that. But you're helping me with all those things. So it's really hard. So I feel your pain, Jim. So come on, Dwayne, you can do it.
Don't do it, Dwayne. Hey, and Dwayne, when he says to you, oh, do you want me to show you how to do this? Always say no.
Yeah.
Because then that means it's your job. And then the next time it'd be, do you want me to show you to do that? No, because then that's your job. And before long, you're doing like I am now. I'm doing everything. I'm editing all the videos. I'm doing all the posts. I'm doing Twitter.
Ooh, your nose is going to hit the screen in a minute, Pinocchio.
I'm lying on a regular basis.
Exactly. Neil TH is saying, with your renewed enthusiasm for small ships, have you thought of Oceania? We have, actually.
But unfortunately, Oceania hasn't thought of us because they're too expensive.
Well, they are sort of Azamara prices, aren't they? But you get more included.
Yeah, no, totally,
so it is something so it is on our radar, but nothing booked. And Sue said about Aurora, great smaller ports, you have a great time. Yep, small ship cruising is definitely. Catherine's also saying, one of my colleagues will only do Aurora. She loves it, but losing a love for P&O. Yeah, a lot of P&O people are moving away. But we've had some great experiences. And I definitely want to try more of the P&O fleet because we've only literally done Ventura for 2 days, Iona twice, and Aurora. And I really like to try Azura and Arcadia. So the Gaming Horse, right then, you old duffers. Have you ever been on a Saga cruise?
Yes, we
have.
Are
they good?
And it was fabulous.
They're a great
when we were saying
cruise line.
When we were saying earlier, Carol said the thing is, people say, "Oh, I did a cruise. It was $50 a night. It was $100 a night." One of the very, very, and obviously people's going to contradict me or like round the wazoo now, but what you can say with Saga is when you say it's X amount a day, that's how much it is, because there's no parking to worry about because they pick you up. They pay your insurance. It's all inclusive. There's no tips. The specialty dining is included, and a lot of the excursions
spa
are included.
Use of the spa anytime, exception
not the treatments. So when you say I've been on a cruise and it was this much money, it genuinely is that much money. Now, I think it. Yes, on the face of things, you think, oh, that's quite expensive. But you look at how much drink Cunard, $75, $80 a day for the drinks package per person. So that's a massive amount of money on the end of your cruise. Or if you don't have the drinks package, the 15% on top of everything and all the specialty dining you've got to pay for. So yeah,
Saga cruises are excellent, and we would definitely go on another Saga cruise in the future if the opportunity arose. Saga's got great room service, Gillian saying as well. Yep, they do. Yep, we missed that off. We said Azamara, don't we, in Cunard.
But we didn't have any when we went on there.
Didn't we have breakfast? Didn't we? We had that. We did because we had that suite and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was
really good.
We paid for our Saga cruise, but there was a hoo-ha, which I won't go into, and it's not a big deal, but there was a hoo-ha. And when they sorted it out, they upgraded us to a suite. And it was fabulous. We had a butler, and you get so many bottles of spirits, and they bring you some horses drawers every day, don't they?
Well, we also there was a mess up with our booking to do with.
So I can get away with
there was a mess up with Paul's dad's booking with a mobility scooter, and we'd been up front with them, and it was their mistake on their end. So as a thank you, they not as a thank you, but as an
apology.
Yes, which was amazing. Saga are good, and
it was fabulous.
I think for those that don't know Saga, you have to be age 50 or over to go on, and you can be over 40 if you're cruising with someone that's over 50. So luckily that works with me because I'm with Paul. KD saying, hey, what cruise are you guys always thinking about? South Pacific. I desperately want to get to South Pacific, and I sit down with Dan and talk about all these different, and there's not a route and a ship and a time that's working out yet. And now it looks like it's probably going to be pushed back to 27 because there's just not anything that's really exciting me and lighting my fire.
It looks to me like we're not meant to go. So
not at the moment, I don't think.
It go.
No, I'm not letting it go. But that's a big trip, an inexpensive trip, and I want it to be right on the right ship. So and it's just not working at the moment. Let's have a look. So Lionel in Florida Field is asking, is there still a future for the smaller ships? They seem to offer more of the traditional for the biggest ones. I truly believe there is. I don't know if the future of building new ships, smaller ships, but certainly smaller, older ships, because they can't, you know, having less passengers, it's going to make the companies less money. But there's certainly a market for them, definitely. And for us, we'd forgotten how good small ship cruising was until we got back on Aurora
Everybody
and loved
told
it.
us you're going to love Aurora.
I know, and
I think
they
the
were
trouble
right.
is with the older ships, and Aurora's only 24 years old. It's the maintenance, because everything's sort of old hat. It's the maintenance cost. But I have to say, on Aurora, the Wi-Fi was
Good.
good. So they had that side
And it
of
wasn't
it,
expensive,
and it
was
wasn't
it?
expensive. So it's just all about the maintenance, and sometimes it's just not viable.
Yeah.
Unless they say.
So Ken and Lindsay were saying on their live that they spoke to the captain, because they were on after us, weren't they? And they did a lovely Baltic cruise with Bob and Holly, and Aurora's around to stay, he says, for the next 5 years. But obviously
four with definitely 4, possibly.
But I think
5.
if people keep booking them, you know, and there's the interest there and they can maintain them, then hopefully these smaller ships, older ships will stick around. So Jim and Twain are saying traditional ship shape or modern. Traditional. The modern ships seem to be concentrated on looking inwards. The older ships, they look outwards. And I don't see the point of going on a huge cruise ship when you can't see the sea. You know, the point of being on a cruise ship is to have sea views. And that's why we're so disappointed with Queen Anne's Promenade, because you walk around, you couldn't even see the sea for the majority of it, could you? So for us, traditional cruisers, we do love to see the sea. But for the younger generation that want to have all singing or dancing, you know, all that type of thing on a ship, then, you know, there's a ship out there for everyone. So I think it's great that there's the variety out there. But for us, traditional is definitely the way that we prefer to cruise.
And I'm going to do a contradictory statement. But I said years and years and years ago, when I think it was Norwegian bought a cruise ship out and it had a go-kart track, and it's got this and it's got that. But if I want to go on a go-kart, there's a place 2 miles away from here that has got go-karts. And these go-karts would be proper go-karts, because I can imagine, I've seen videos of people on the go-karts on the Norwegian ships, and I could saddle up a tortoise and go faster. And to me, that is just wasted space. If you want to go on a go-kart, go to a go-kart track. If you want to go on a fun fair, go to a fun fair. If you want to go to a water park, go to a water park. You don't need to have those on a cruise ship.
You don't need that.
No, I don't need it. Do you need it? Do you want to go? No.
But cruises with families, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's the problem now, is they're trying to pack all these people in with all this extra stuff. But when the end of the day comes and the go-kart track shut and the water park shut and the fun fair shut, all those people have got to go somewhere. And then you're in the situation where you can't move on the ship because there's too many people. I think there should be catered enough inside activities to cater for the amount of people on the ship. And if any of them go outside, that's a bonus. But the trouble is now they put all their eggs in one basket, and you like we took on MSC. What was that one we went on? Virtuosa. And we only went on for like a 4-day or whatever, and it was after the pandemic, there was 1,000 people on there. Well, apparently that ship was like, what, 6,000?
And we couldn't get a seat in some of the bars.
We couldn't get a seat in some of the bars when there was 1,000. So, and we, people saying, oh, you got an hour and a half queue to get to dinner, and that's not a holiday.
Anyway, on to happier things. Which line would you recommend for going through with the Panama Canal? We haven't done it, but again, Gary Bembridge has got a lot of information about this. Pick a smaller ship that can go through the old canal, but check his stuff out because he's got a lot of information about that. Ali and Mark's here. So let's see, Ali and Mark, we did miss the Electric Sunsets cruise. Will you be booking the next one? If we are around, yes, because for those that don't know, Electric Sunsets is Marella Cruises sort of festival at sea, isn't it really? And we did the one a few years ago, which was great fun with the Cruise Boys and Emma Cruises and lots of lovely people.
And Ali and Mark.
Yes, and Ali and Mark. So let's see what else we got. Matthew's asking, off the Canaries in November, and he must do things in port. If you let us know what ports you're going to, Matthew, then we can be a little bit more specific. So
I've just done, actually, Matthew. If you go to our website, Paul and Carole Love to Travel.com, I've just written, if you go to the Marella section, it doesn't matter who you're cruising with, but if you go to the Marella section, there's one on there, and it's all the ports
I forgot about that
Marella go to and what you can do there.
Exactly.
So get yourself over to there after we finish waffling.
Corin saying, love the fixed grin, Carol, whilst Paul explained the Euros. I know. See, football season to me is over the winter. And then when Paul said to me the Euros, I'm like, oh my God. So it's the summer as well.
Bloody football's all year round.
Exactly.
Shouting at the telly.
Exactly. Because Paul gets very passionate, and it's not pleasant being in the house when he's, shouting obscenities every 2 minutes.
Nothing wrong with that.
So Paul's saying, so write this down, Dan. HK Harbour View Room at the Kowloon Shangri-La. Singapore love the Shangri-La at the top of Orchard Road. Lots of different wings at different price points. Thank you very much. So, Harbour View, Kowloon, and
this is thrilling, isn't it, for everybody?
Sorry,
else?
no, I got it down.
Just
I got
write
it down.
stuff down. Yeah, but she's written it down in Carole writing, so we'll have no idea what it says.
I'll make you a Scotch egg.
Yeah, get on with it then, Nick. Come on, let's have it. Oh, will it have? Well,
So,
the thing is it Nick or is it Tracy? Because obviously it's both of them. Will it have a slightly runny yolk?
So let's see. Marion says she doesn't like eggs. Really? Is there anyone that doesn't like eggs?
Yeah, Marion.
Well, I know. Nick saying, do you put the pickled egg in the crisp? Yes. Yes.
This is when we
For
were.
those that join in late,
Yes.
show them the eggs.
Oh,
Look at them eggs. Yes. I reckon there's about 30 in there.
When we were in.
We should have had a count the egg competition.
No, because that means we have to get all the eggs out. So try to think these things through.
True.
Anyway, I'm going to get this out. We went to Bridgewater to watch Ken and Lindsay in pantomime. Ken goes cruising.
Yes.
And we had a fabulous time. And then we went to a pub and we noticed there was a jar of pickled onions. So we persuaded Bob and Holly to try them. But first of all, they were like, what do you want about a pickled egg? And then we tried to explain to them that you have to have a bag of, so we say, what crisps do you like?
What flavour?
Or potato chips. And then you get what will happen is you open your bag of crisps, the barman will get your pickled egg out of the jar with a tongs thing. He won't just put it, old school, he'd put his hand straight in there. And then he plops it in your bag of crisps. So that is your
Snack.
dish to carry the pickled egg in, and then you have a crisp.
And the vinegar drips on the crisps.
And you have a little
lovely.
bite of your pickled egg, and then more. It's the future.
Lovely. It is the future.
It's the future, and it's the past.
Andy and Carla went to a farm shop near and I bought 90 grams of garlic and herb butter with no price. When I got till it was £5.90, £5.60. Yeah, it is crazy prices, but it's nice, isn't it? It's nice to have those treats.
You say that. We came back from a cruise and we couldn't come back our normal way because there was an accident on the motorway. So we ended up going a different route and we passed a farm shop. And Carl's like, oh, go in the farm shop, mate. We can get some lovely veg and meat for a nice Sunday roast. And we bought a load of veg. It cost £4 billion and it was absolutely tasteless.
Yeah, it was actually from
so
there.
It's not.
But that was unusual.
But I have to say,
that was unusual.
Over Farm Market, which is where all this stuff comes from,
it's very good.
It's usually exceptional.
John's asked, what types of dressing clothes does a man need to bring on a Cunard cruise? Before we talk about it, on our website, we've got a Cunard section and it's got on there what to dress and pack for a Cunard cruise. So go and check that out. But basically, there's 2 gala nights per 7 nights. And most people do dress up in a suit and obviously dresses for the ladies. But the other nights, smart casual is absolutely fine.
Smart casual, but always try and have something, even if it's a polo shirt with a collar on.
Yeah.
Because they do like a collar.
They do.
But it's not a big whoop. But for gala nights, I've got a dinner suit now, which I bought a couple of years ago. But before that, I would just wear a normal suit, matching suit with a normal tie. And on a gala night, if you want to go like that, that is more than acceptable.
Yeah.
So don't feel that
you have to get a tuxedo and the whole sort of bib and tucker, as we call it. Marion said, would you do a cruise that goes to Orkney? We would. Yeah, we'd love to get up north. And Diddley Squat is the most expensive farm shop. Diddley Squat is Jeremy Clarkson, quite a famous British guy for those that don't know. Do you know any cruise lines that go to Cyprus? We do. Morella go to Cyprus because we know that.
They do, yeah.
And I'm sure there are other cruise lines out there that do too. That not that we've been on, but question. Jack is asking, have you got your BG at home yet? So those that don't know, a BG is a bum gun. Just so you know, on that point, from our video point of view, because I look at the times are ticking.
No, it's
from our
flying
videos,
by
obviously,
again.
tomorrow is our last episode of Queen Anne's out. So make sure that you keep an eye out for this. It's out at 6 o'clock tomorrow. So make sure you have a look at that. It's whether we would actually cruise with Cunard again and whether we would do a maiden cruise again, and shows our last days at sea. If you haven't already this week, then do check out our episode that's already out. So and that's going down really well already. And I wanted to just say that we've got exciting news. Hopefully, we're just got the last few details to iron out, but hopefully next week we will be announcing that we actually are cruising at the end of the month. So stay tuned and make sure you tune into our live next week.
Final details,
we are waiting for final
but we
details.
Will be going to.
And the reason I digress is because after our Cunard videos, I'm starting tomorrow to work on our Japan vlogs, which is where the bum gun comes from, isn't it? The BG.
Yes.
So stay tuned for those too.
Do you know that you've turned into me? So Jackie asked a question. You've gone all around the houses and you haven't answered a question. No, it hasn't turned up yet, but it is in the post. There was a few issues that they thought it had been posted, but somebody put it in a storage cupboard. But it's now, on its way.
Yes. It's on its way from Dubai.
Yes.
So yes, so we will let you know.
And hopefully, because it's coming from Dubai, it's going to be made of solid gold.
I say that. So our daughter's just got one. Tried last week while visiting Calgary. Wow, I know, understand. My Paul is so excited.
When you spend as much time on the toilet as I do, I'm going to say it's the only place I can go for some peace, but I don't even get any peace there, to be honest. Have you finished yet? Come on, I need a wee.
Shush, Paulie. Adrian said they stayed at the Marina Mandarin Hotel. Write that down, Dan. Write that down. So
that even sounds expensive, doesn't it?
Yeah, Joe's confirming that Cyprus, that Morella, a whole important ship there. Yeah.
Exactly important. Oh.
Josh said, ever done a Disney cruise? No, we don't fancy that. Thank you very much.
I gotta be honest, there's more chance of me doing a Disney cruise than probably MSC again, but it would have to be very, very cheap. I'm sure we'd have a great time, but if I was going to pay like bananas money, like a Disney cruise generally is, I'd rather do like Oceania or Silver Seas or something, because I don't get it, to be honest.
Rob saying as well about MSC, about Yacht Club, best experience. Yeah, if we did, then we would love to do that.
I'm not arguing at all, Rob. Yeah. We went there. Long story short, we were given a day pass on our 4-day cruise, and we forgot to give it back in at the end of the day. So we went there for 3 days.
Yeah, not all day.
No, we went there for usually lunch. We spent the afternoon there. We'd have some snacks and they did a barbecue and all sorts of stuff. We had a fabulous time there. And there's no doubt about it. It's a great experience. But it's just the rest of like I said, maybe I need to bite the bullet and sample. But if there's like 6,000 people all milling around and
Paul's patience isn't. No. Yeah, he just gets his hair off. Ted's talking about the aft balcony, saying that's what we've got for the group cruise on Sky. Yeah, you'll be very happy there, Ted. That'd be awesome. Let's have a look. Yeah, 95 days until Boston and 97 till Gary's cruise from Mike at work. So he did get on.
Yes.
Mark, Cebu, Philippines report. It's normally Irvine, California. Hello there, Mark. So lovely to see you here. We're having some fabulous conversations with Mark at the moment.
And Mark, please tell me that your weather is better there than everybody else we've spoken to tonight. Seriously.
But we're planning an exciting trip with Mark next year. So we're getting the fine details down for that. So that's very exciting too. Let's have a look. So Deborah's asking question. First time on QA in October. Where do you put your unpacked luggage once settled in? Where do you put your unpacked luggage?
You mean your suitcases?
Okay, yeah. Under the bed. Do you get the drinks package? We didn't, and we sort of broke even. But again, we've got a post on our website all about the drink prices. So it's personal to you how much you drink and how much you're prepared to spend.
I've said this before. When you get these websites, it'll say, "Oh, we do a drinks calculator," because it tells you. But if you drink a pint of lager, the difference between lager on Cunard could be as much as £1 or £1.20 a pint. So if you drink the cheap lager and you drink X amount a day, well, if you don't, that's going to put X amount of money on your thing. If you drink wine, if you drink cocktails, but if you got, it will mean you'll have to do the calculations yourself. But if you go paulandcarole.com, go to cruises, go to Cunard, it'll have how much the drinks package is and how much individual drinks are. If your drink isn't covered on there, I'll be amazed. And do send me an email or a comment and I'll make sure it goes on there if it's not. But it's really, really, really comprehensive. And you can look at that drink and think, right, I like a tequila sunrise and it's X amount of money and I like 12 of them a day.
12?
No, I'm just saying. I won't frown upon it because it's your holiday. But it will just give you an idea. If you think to yourself, well, I only drink 5 drinks a day. If you only drink 5 drinks a day, I don't care what you're drinking. If it's like, unicorn blood, it's not worth you getting the drinks package because nothing's going to put you up.
Unicorn blood.
That's really expensive, unicorn blood.
It is.
Yeah. So, yeah, but go have a look after this and you can go through all the individual drinks and think, well, I might have 2 of them in a day and 2 of them or whatever. You'll know exactly what it's going to cost you. But don't forget to factor in the 15% surcharge if you're not on the package.
Yes. Lisa also got hooked on Thatcher's Gold on Britannia. Thanks, Paul Morgan.
All the best people drink Thatcher's Gold and some smelly people as well.
Esty said, thoughts on an Antarctica expedition? Because I would love to do it. Paul's not so keen, but I would love to do it.
No, I am keen. I would love to do it, but I have got this fear that it's probably the most expensive cruise we would ever do. And if you don't get the right weather and you can't get off that ship for a week and you've just spent £18,000 each, I don't think I could ever recover from that. But that's the gamble.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a lot more things we want to do before doing that, and it's hard to justify that sort of money, isn't it?
But obviously, if we won the lottery, I'd be looking at one
different if
by
we
the
had
end
lots
of the
of
year.
disposable income. So,
but
Keith,
sadly, we haven't got disposable income because we've disposed of all our
most
income.
of it. Right then, we booked QV for a 2-week cruise next year. How many gala nights do they like to be at? And they like to cover different themes. Yes, on a 2-week cruise, Keith, you will probably have, you'll have the 4 because you'll have 2 a week. So you'll have red and gold night, black and white night, masquerade night, and 20s. So
20s is my favorite.
It is. It's great
because the women go out dressed in like the flapper girls from the 20s with all the stringy dresses and the pearls and the things in their hair and all that. And the men, which I think is hilarious, you don't get many doing it, but the ones that do, and they'll go out dressed as gangsters, and some of them will even bring Tommy guns.
A bit mad, isn't it?
Love it.
A bit mad. Thanks, Dan, for answering the question for Footy Edits about the whale watching. So thanks for that. And Gillian saying going on a 3rd Saga cruise September, better than Celebrity, cannot compare to P&O. Book early, best price. Yes, and I think that's a lot with a lot of cruise companies now, isn't it? You used to get sort of your late bargains, which still do happen from time to time, but it still seems that if you lock in early, you do get a very good price. So Grant Moore, thanks for my weekly laugh session. I'd love to meet up with you guys and cruise sometime. I have a great traveling and gets me ALMI, so I can't book with Dan. No problem. We use Dan and recommend him, but we say to everyone, just find yourself a good travel agent because it makes all that difference that you can get all those added extras. And when things go wrong, they've got your back.
And once we find a good travel agent, we'll let you know.
But if you haven't got a good travel agent, then please use Dan because because he's the best.
You need to rephrase that. If you haven't got a good travel,
no, I'm saying if you haven't got a travel agent,
but even if you have, use Dan anyway because he's better.
Papillon saying, do you suffer from seasickness anytime? Rarely, but I did get seasick when we cruised around Australia on Azamara because it was a very small ship and I didn't realise how rough the seas would be around Australia. So yes, it has happened. And
it only happened to me once, and that was in the Irish Sea on the CMV Marco Polo. I bet many of you haven't been on that old bird.
Undine Irvin saying, hi from Chicago. For Transatlantic on QM2, do you prefer eastbound or westbound? Now, for us, we like to go in eastbound because we were traveling home. A lot of people say that's the wrong way around because you lose some time. But for us, coming home with no jet lag and just cruising in Southampton was amazing.
So for you, the other way around. Which
Well,
is,
it depends. It depends. Do you want to sail into New York or do you want to sail out as well? That's another thing.
Please don't take this the wrong way. Anybody from Southampton, sailing into New York is going to be better than sailing into Southampton.
But we sailed into Southampton. We sailed out of New York.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to say,
I
my God, I'll tell you
Southampton's
what.
nice. You see a bit of the Isle of Wight. You see all the lovely, you could spot IKEA.
Yeah.
The Holiday Inn.
Nobody's ever booked a cruise on the basis of it sails into Southampton, believe me. And obviously, you going back, that's going to eliminate your jet lag. But then, how far is it from New York to Chicago, honey? Is it a long way? I don't know.
Not too far. Well, I don't know miles, but it's northeast, isn't it? So
I mean, I wanted a time frame, please.
No, I don't know. I don't know. So let's have a look. So Becky said she did a Disney cruise with her husband, no kids. Yeah, we've heard they've got some really good adult-only areas, so that's good. Let's see if we've got any other questions we can answer before we go. Tina's asking, would we get the drink package on Cunard? No, we wouldn't. It doesn't work out for us. And Tracy's saying it's really hot in Chicago, in Ontario, Canada. Ontario. That's how you say it. What's the matter?
Well, it took about 4 attempts to read that.
Ontario. So, so we're very, very, very jealous. And Dan's just saying Antarctica, let's do it.
Shut your face.
Anyway, on that note, I think we will sign off then. So we've said everything on my list, haven't we? Yes, so tune in next week because we've got news of it. A very exciting trip that's coming up very soon.
We got a big jar.
Go and try it. Yes. So we're off to have our pickled eggs. Well, just one pickled egg. And we will catch you next week. So thank you so much for joining us. See if you can get it. Oh, yay!